guys! So today I'm going to be reviewing Slice of Cherry by Dia Reeves? Pronunciation is questionable, as always. This book was first published in December 2011 by Simon Pulse, and it is YA a fantasy thriller. I'm not really sure what to classify it as. There's a lot to it. The first thing that drew me to this book completely, I saw it. I was looking through the books at Barnes & Noble's, and I saw the side, and I was like, ooh, that's really pretty writing. Really like that font, because I say things like that. But then I saw the front cover, and I was like, huh, this is intriguing. I haven't read kind of a mystery murder psycho thriller type thing in a while. Let's do that. Basically this story is about two sisters, Kit and Fancy Cordell, and they are the daughters of the Bonesaw Killer, who is this man who you kind of find out how he was first discovered and then imprisoned in the book. This is the story of Kit and Fancy and how they are the daughters of this serial killer and kind of their biological want to kill and how they live that and how they kind of use their talents and strengths to the best of their abilities in a positive way. This is a kind of alternate reality storyline where I believe the place, like the setting, is a real setting, just there's also mystical things kind of going on. For example, there's this tree that everyone goes to every year, and once you're a certain age you get to like ask it a wish and it'll grant you wishes, and like there's some really cool stories going along with that. So there's kind of the fantasy, mystical, witch almost side to it. And there's also a bit of love. Oh, I shouldn't say a bit of love. There's a good portion of love. I think is handled very well. It's all very interesting. It's a very interesting story. And I haven't read a story that is quite this interesting in a very long time. I bought this book probably a year or two ago, and at first I tried reading it and I couldn't really push past the first couple of chapters, or the first couple of pages. I was just kind of like, blah, I don't want to read this. And then I don't know what possessed me to, but I decided to just push through it, and it ended up being one of the best decisions of my reading life. I don't know how I pronounce that weird, because it just really is such a great book. I set it down after I finished it and kind of had to sit there for a minute, as you do after reading certain books, and just let it all sink in and just bask in the fact that you were able to read such a good piece of work. The story is told in third person, which I personally don't really like third person, but it worked for this. It was very good. And it's more from the perspective of Fancy, and there's also little dream snippets at the end of every chapter from Fancy. I really recommend you reading Slice of Cherry if you are into fantasy, kind of psycho murdery things. It's not a flawless book, but it is really, really good. There were a couple spots that like you kind of step back and you're like, is this really happening in a book? I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but is this really happening? I hope you all are having a lovely day. This ending is different than most. I hope you all are having a lovely day. My apologies for not posting in a while. Even this review I meant to post like 2 months ago, and that just didn't happen. But I am going to be getting back on track.